One of the most challenging issues for the judicial system is mysterious disappearances, as they require significant efforts to find evidence. What complicates matters in such cases is the lack of witnesses in the final moments of the disappearance of the individuals involved. As illustrated in this story, the mystery of the Martin family's disappearance from Portland, Oregon, USA, remains one of the most perplexing incidents in the state's history, and has yet to be fully resolved. The events of this story began in the mid-20th century, when Mr. and Mrs. Martin attended a Christmas party. On their way back to their home, located in a neighborhood known as Kerrsville in northeast Portland, they decided to embark on an exploratory trip across the country. The next morning, the couple left with their 3 daughters: the eldest, Barbie, the middle daughter, Susan, and the youngest girl, Virginia. At that time, Barbie was still a high school student, and the family had an older son named Donald, who was 28 years old and serving in the U.S. Navy, residing in New York. On the first occasion the family took their car, they headed east towards Columbia. Their goal was to collect herbs and flowers to make wreaths and decorations in preparation for Christmas. During the day, the task was challenging, but a gas station owner named Mr. Baxter reported that the family purchased 9 gallons of gasoline at his station in the town of Cascade Locks, miles from their home. After refueling, they continued their journey eastward, and were seen again at a cafe known as Bratislavi in the Hood River area, 20 miles east of the station. Some drivers on the road indicated that they saw the family on the northern bank of the Columbia River in Washington state at dawn, but they could not determine the exact location. The 3 daughters did not return to school, and one of Kenneth's colleagues noticed his absence from work, where he was supposed to submit a detailed report on his work at the company. Later that evening, Kenneth's manager, Mr. Taylor, reported the family's absence to the police. The police visited the family's home at 11 p.m. to search for any signs of break-in or tampering, but found nothing unusual. There was a large sum of money in the family's bank account that had not been withdrawn. A connection was established between police stations in Martin County and those in Hood River County, and both initiated search operations, but no substantial results or evidence were found. One day, a stolen white Chevrolet was discovered at the gas station in Cascade Locks, on the same day the family disappeared. A commander pistol was also found nearby, covered in blood, and handed over to the authorities. However, they did not examine it and simply traced the serial number, concluding that it was among the sports equipment stolen by the son, Donald Martin, years ago during his work at a sports equipment store. On the 3rd day, 2 individuals were arrested for stealing the Chevrolet vehicle. A waiter at a restaurant in Hood testified that one of the men was at the restaurant at the same time as the family and left at the same time. In the weeks following the disappearance, the police received 200 letters and hundreds of phone calls, including a letter from an orchard owner in East Portland, who claimed to have seen a man and woman picking weeds on December 7th in a native cemetery. Weeks later, he noticed hundreds of rocks flying in that direction, searched the valley, but found nothing. On December 28, 1988, a woman's glove was discovered near the Chevrolet's location. It was noted in the investigation that these gloves resembled those worn by Barbie, though no one was certain it was the same glove. On December 31, a man called the police to report seeing a vehicle matching the description of the Martin family's car on a highway, but the vehicle was not found. The police also received a letter from someone claiming to have seen the family on Christmas Eve. On January 7, 1959, a truck driver reported seeing a car parked in Billings, Montana with Oregon license plates, resembling the Martin family's car. By February, investigators were conducting searches in various locations, including the greater Portland area and Mount Hood. Meanwhile, a volunteer researcher found tire tracks leading to a slope near Dallas that matched the vehicle's tires. Paint chips recovered from this site were sent to the FBI for analysis, and it was determined that the paint was the same as that used in the car's manufacture. Based on the possibility that the Martin family's car fell into the river, U.S. Army engineers lowered the water level in the lake behind Bonneville Dam by 5 feet, searching with sonar techniques, but without results. On May 1, 1959, 3 months after the report of the disappearance, a report from David indicated that a river certainly, continuing from where we left off. Platform near Dallas had tied something heavy to the dock. In the early morning hours of May 2nd, a fisherman and his wife reported seeing what appeared to be 2 bodies floating downstream near Cascade Locks. Later that day, Susan's body was discovered on the northern bank of the Columbia River near Camas, Washington, and her identity was confirmed through dental records. The following morning, May 4th, Virginia's body was found near Bonneville Dam, approximately 74 kilometers west of Dallas, and her identity was also confirmed through dental records. After several months of searching and investigating the family's disappearance, the bodies of the 2 girls were examined by forensic experts, who concluded that the primary cause of death was drowning. Aluminum traces were found on the clothing Susan was wearing, which raised suspicions that the drilling rig operating in the area at the time had overturned the family's car into the river. It is believed that the drilling platform removed one of the doors after it got caught, resulting in the bodies of the 2 girls being swept away. Meanwhile, search efforts in the river continued, but one of the rescuers suffered a drowning accident, leading to the suspension of the search. The bodies of Kenneth, Barbara, and Barbie were never found. Finally, there were investigators who believed that the 2 individuals arrested had a connection to what happened to the family. At the end of the 19th century, diving and search operations were organized using modern sonar in an attempt to locate the family's car, but nothing was found. To this day, the fate of the Martin family remains unknown, and the bodies of Kenneth, Barbara, and Barbie have not been found, nor has any trace of the car. The Martin family case is considered one of the most complex and mysterious cases, adding to the field of unsolved mysteries.